They always say, oh, it's not working, right? It's not working. And it is working. It might not be working in the way you want it to work, but it is working. Thank you guys for tuning into the Blueprints to Freedom podcast. I'm your host, Stephen Hugh Berry. Today, I have a great topic for you. Today, we're going to talk about 4 reasons why you should consider messing up, right? 4 reasons why you should consider messing up. 4 reasons why you should consider failing. The first reason, because I'm not going to waste any time. I'm just going to get right into it. The first reason why you should consider messing up, the first reason why you should consider failing is because failure builds character. When you mess up, you build character. When you continually mess up over time, you build character, right? A lot of people, when they're, chasing their goals, their dreams, when they're trying to accomplish something and they're messing up, they always say, oh, it's not working, right? It's not working. And it is working. It might not be working in the way you want it to work, but it is working. Consider that as working on you, right? It's helping you to become a better version of yourself. It's helping you to become the person that would be able to maintain that success when you get it. I don't understand. Well, I do understand because I was there before. So I'm not going to sit there and say that. I do understand why people don't want to fail, because failure is not, a glamorous thing. It really isn't. Grinding and persevering, it's not a glamorous thing. But I would like to say that the journey is probably the best part of the whole process, because along the way, the journey, you become that person, like I said, that can maintain that thing that you're striving to become, right? If I want to be a millionaire, if I want to be a billionaire, and I continually fail over and over and over again, at some point, I will get to where I want to be, and then I'll know everything that does not work with getting there. So let's just say I somehow lose everything, I'll be able to get back there, opposed to somebody who was just given riches, somebody who wins the lottery, right? What happens to them? We all know those stories of people win the lottery, they go broke a couple years after. Why? Because they didn't fail forward to get to that point in their life, right? They just got it because it was given. They won it. It came out of thin air, and they'll probably just go out and spend it all on stupid things instead of investing that money, instead of buying assets that produce cash flow so they can go out and live the life that they want long term instead of going broke after a couple years. So that's one of the things, right? One of the reasons why you should mess up is because it builds character. It builds character. It also reveals character. When you mess up, it shows you where you are at the moment. It shows you where you are at the moment. And it helps you to see where I'm at and how far am I off from where I need to be, right? It shows you where you need to improve, right? And that's very important, because if you don't know where you are, how can you get to where you want to be? If you don't know where your starting point is, how you going to get to where you want to be? Your starting point is important, extremely important. So that's the second thing. Second reason why you should mess up is because it shows you who you currently are, and it shows you where you currently are when you mess up. The third reason why you should consider messing up is that it gets you into action. We all know people, who have analysis by paralysis. What do I mean by that? They want to do the thing so perfectly that they end up doing nothing. I was one of those people, and I'm sure you were one of those people. We can all relate to this, that story, that avatar, because we know that when we are always worried about, I want to do it perfectly. I want to do it perfectly. I want to be the best version. I want to be the best at this. La, la, la. You don't get anything done. When someone always wants to, let's redo it. They never get anything out because they're just constantly redoing it and not releasing anything. And the best way to get started is to just get started. Because if you don't just get started, you'll never see where you're at. If you don't just get started, you'll never accomplish what you want to be. You have to get started before you can accomplish what you want. You have to get started before you can finish. You can't finish before you get started, right? So, how long are you gonna sit there and analyze the situation? How long are you gonna sit there and try to figure out how to best attack your goals and dreams? You just gotta attack them, right? You just gotta make a mess. You gotta make a mess, because if you make a mess, you will become that person you wanna be. And obviously you have to stay in the game. Because another reason why a lot of people don't succeed in life is because they give up. And it's like, when I talk to you guys, I'm talking to myself too, because this was me in the past. It's like you sit there and you're like, man, you were really thinking to yourself that you was gonna be perfect out the gate. Like you've never done this before, and then you pick this thing up and you was like, hey, I'm gonna do this, and I wanna be successful at this. And you thought that you were just gonna be perfect at the starting point. It's delusional. It's being delusional, right? You gotta understand, when you look at these top speakers, these millionaires, right? The ones that came from nothing and got to something. When you look at their stories, full of failure. Stories have more failure than success, right? More failure than accomplishments. Why? Because failure is important. It is extremely important. Look at trust fund babies. People who just get money. Majority of these people, right, that just are handed money end up being extremely destructive in their lives. Extremely destructive at some point. And to the point where they just self-destruct and they never amount to anything. And the reason why is because they didn't build the character. They didn't become the person that has the capacity to maintain that level of success, to maintain that level of wealth. So that's why failure is inevitable. You have to fail, man. You have to fail. You have to love failing. You got to understand that when you fail, you're on the right track. When you fail, you're on the right track. It's like the best indicator that, man, I am heading in the right direction. When you go out and you try to run 3 miles and, man, you come up short. You feel like your lungs is gonna pop out your chest, and you only did 2 miles. You're on the right track, because there was some point where you couldn't even do 2 miles. So if you keep going, eventually you'll hit that 3 miles, because over time your body's gonna be like, wait a minute, this is 2 miles? I got this, man. Let's go another mile. Your body's gonna build up that resistance to be able to withstand those miles. Or when you go in the gym and you're working out and you're trying to build muscle, right? And you're when you first get in there, you only could bench press 125 and you want to get to 225, right? And after a couple months, you can only bench press 200. But you were just at 125 and now you're doing 200. You're on the right track. Yeah, you're not where you want to be yet, but you're on your way there. And if you continue to go, if you continue to be consistent and disciplined, right? you will eventually get to that 225 goal that you had. But you'll never get there if you stop. So failure is important. Your muscles have to fail to get bigger. Failure is built into life. Failure is a cheat code to success. A lot of people want to resist failure. A lot of people don't want to fail. They're like, man, I don't want to fail. And it's like, you don't know what you're giving up. Failure, you need to fail. It's important to fail. I was one of those people that I just never wanted to fail. And it's like, now I understand that you got to embrace failures because it's the best thing. You got to embrace failure in every single aspect of life. Failure in relationships, failure in money, finance, right? Failure in health, right? You understand that you're that person that is just, you don't, how you gonna know that you need to go and get healthy if you don't get that sign that, hey man, like you need to start working out or you need to start eating right? How are you gonna know if you don't fail, right? If you're in a relationship and it doesn't work out and you don't sit back and try to figure out, okay, what did I do wrong? What could I do better next time? If you don't sit down and kind of pick apart how that relationship went, if you didn't get that failure, you wouldn't be able to pick apart it. A lot of people, when they win constantly over and over again, they get complacent. When human beings have a natural proclivity of getting complacent. It is crazy. The fourth reason why you should mess up is that when you mess up, you learn, right? I kind of went over that already. I kind of went into my whole rant and I went over that already. But when you mess up, you learn. You learn a lot. You learn what does not work, right? If I want to be better at my money and I'm constantly failing at my money and I'm like, okay, well, buying everything I see is probably not the best way to manage my money properly, right? Or spending all my money on liabilities that only take money out of my pocket, out of my account, is probably not the best way to build wealth. The only way you can know that is if you've done it. Because if someone tells you, okay, cool, but we all know those people that you could tell them till they're blue in the face, but they literally have to go out and take that action to learn on their own, you know? So when you mess up, you learn. So that's why, those are my 4 reasons why it's important that you mess up. It's important that you fail, right? So that was the episode, guys. I hope that you got value from that. And tune in for more. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share this with somebody who you think might help. It might help. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.